So we'll keep on singing from glory to glory, beginning to ending. You're holy, you're worthy. So we'll keep on singing. So we'll keep on singing. This is what you're worthy of. Praise all the good you've given us cannot be measured. You alone deserve it all. Our lives surrendered. Jesus, take every part. It's what you're worthy of. Praise forever. All the good you've given us cannot be measured. You alone deserve it all. Our lives surrendered. Jesus, take every part. It's what you're worthy of. It's what you're worthy of.
Well, this is a song we sung with our students this summer at high school camp. Born out of the life of our church, it's about a simple, pure offering of worship to the only one who is worthy. About taking it back to the simple things. So as you catch on tonight, we invite you to sing along. Let's worship together. There are things you've given freely, made to satisfy. Yet I overlook the grace that's in plain sight. I guess my human nature fails to comprehend the gift. Let it all come back to this. Back to simple, honest worship, to the place that I belong. Pure devotion, nothing hidden. You're the center of it all. Be the center of it all. In my life, have your way. Have I missed you with my motives? Am I blinded by my pride? 'Cause these man-made wells just keep on running dry. Well, the counterfeits have brought me when all I needed was him. So I'm coming back to this, and back to simple, oh, back to simple, honest worship, to the place that I belong. Pure devotion, there's nothing hidden. You're the center of it all. Oh, back to simple, honest worship, to the place that I belong. A pure devotion, there's nothing hidden. You're the center of it all. This is what I was made for. I was made to worship. How could I receive it when only you deserve it? I surrender freely, the good, the bad, the ugly. It's not that complicated, so I won't reinvent it. This is what I was made for. I was made to worship. How could I receive it when only you deserve it? I surrender free. The good, the bad, the ugly. It's not that complicated, so I won't reinvent it. This is what I was made for. I was made to worship. How could I receive it when only you deserve it? I surrender freely. The good, the bad, the ugly. It's not that complicated, so I won't reinvent it. Oh, back to simple, honest worship, to the place that I belong. Pure devotion, there's nothing hidden. You're the center of it all. This is what I was made for. I was made. Oh, how could I receive it? Only you deserve it. Freely, the good, the bad, the ugly. It's not that complicated, so I won't read. Sing that chorus together. Back to simple. Back to simple. Honest worship to the place that I belong. Pure devotion has nothing hidden, and you're the center of it all. Yes, Jesus, I praise you.
You understand my weakness. You felt my every pain. Tested and tried, yet perfect in your ways. You walked through temptation. You know the weight of shame. Tested and tried, still perfect, perfect in your ways. You're perfect in your ways. I need you more than any other thing. I need you more. My joy and suffering. I need you more. Let my heart forever sing. I need Jesus. I need you, Jesus. You're greater in my weakness. so I can stand and not be shaken. Find your kindness in the fire. Oh, you are God and you're always good. You are God and you're always good. Oh, every minute, every hour, you are God and you're on your throne. So I will never be forsaken. You are here and I'm not alone. So I can stand and not be shaken. Find your kindness in the fire. You are God and you're always good. You are God and you're always good. Oh, you are God and you're always good. You are God. I need you more than any other thing. I need you more. My joy and suffering. I need you more. My heart forever sing. I need Jesus. I need you, Jesus. I need you more than any other thing. I need you more. My joy and suffering. I need you more. Yeah, my heart forever sing. I need Jesus. I need you, Jesus. Every minute, every hour, you are God and you're on your throne. So I will never be forsaken. You are here and I'm not alone. So I can stand it, not be shaken. Find your kindness in the fire. You are God and you're always good. You are God and you're always good. Oh, you are God and you're always good. You are
Hey, my name is Matt Robinson, and I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and drug addict. And I'm also a pastor at Southeast Christian Church. I get the privilege of leading our Southeast recovery team, and it's really a culmination of just God doing things in my life that I could not do for myself. And so I show up this morning really grateful that this is the spot that I get to be in today, knowing that what I did to qualify myself to be in this spot was really just blow my life up over and over and over again. And a God that I struggled to believe in a little bit, but really I really struggled into trust. Showed up and started doing things in my life when I brought nothing but failure and unmet expectations. And he just started doing things in my life and around, and I just get to be a part of that. And so really grateful to be here with you this morning. At Southeast Recovery, with Southeast Christian Church, we're based in Louisville, Kentucky. We say we're one church in many locations. We got campuses kind of spread out all over the place. In Southeast Recovery, we partner with treatment organizations like where you're at today. And we bring worship services that are geared specifically for people that are learning this journey of sobriety. We bring discipleship curriculum, spiritual pathway, specifically written for people that are trying to navigate what it looks like to find a relationship and a connection with God as they're on their journey of recovery. And our mission is really simple. We just want to connect you with Jesus as a part of your long-term recovery. Like, is there a way to stay sober and connecting at church and connecting with scripture and connecting with other believers? Is there a way for that to be helpful for you or to be a blessing or an assistance for you as you're on this journey, just trying to find what it looks like to live life, one day at a time? There's so much about recovery that so easily fits for me in what I know of scripture. I've been a pastor for almost 24 years now. And I struggled with alcohol and drug addiction for 27 of those, and I joke like I'm obviously not that old. And so there was a lot of overlap in that, right? So, I get asked a lot, or I think to myself, I probably get thought that I get asked this a lot more than I do, but like there's a kind of a standing question is like, how does a pastor struggle with addiction? How does a pastor know the Bible and see God do great things in other people's lives and be a part of seeing God move in things and then still struggle with addiction? When I say struggle with addiction, I mean, I struggled with addiction. Pain pills and alcohol were my two main things that I went to. And, multiple times in my life blew up. Multiple times in my life, it's hard sometimes people think we struggle as addicts of like, what is a power greater than ourselves? You know what I mean? But anybody that's been dope sick more than one time knows what it's like to be under the control of a power that is greater than you. Because anybody that would do that more than once knows that there's something that's out there more powerful than us. And that's what I did multiple times, and it wasn't until I received the gift of desperation. And I've tried to quantify or qualify what led to that moment for me. And I don't know what it was. I just know that in October of 2020, I wanted to be sober more than anything in the world. I was done. And I don't know why that switch flipped inside of me. I don't know what was different, if there was anything different at that time, or if that time was the culmination of other times that it kind of led to that. And maybe that's your story. Maybe you've had multiple runs at this thing in recovery. Maybe you've had multiple trips to treatment, and there's a piece of you that wants to think like, gosh, is this time going to be any different? Or is this really going to make any difference later on down the line? Or am I going to do the same thing that I've always done? I know that I started trying to get sober in 2014, and up to this point, my last, drink or drug was on October 5th of 2020. And I don't know what those 6 years were, other than me still trying to run the show, or me still trying to make something happen, or me thinking that it was all on me, And so whether this is your first time in treatment, or whether this is your 20th time in treatment, I do believe every time that we go back out and we relapse, we don't lose what we had the last time we were in recovery. We just learn a little bit more about ourselves. So I'm not sure why you're in treatment today. For some of us, we're here because, and it's a blessing, right? Like, we have couch hopped as long as we could couch hop, and we had no place else to go. And that was kind of the thing that led us to come. Some of us found ourselves in a situation where we literally had no place to go. We were sleeping outside, or didn't have a house or a shelter to go to. And so if that's part of your story, then man, coming to treatment was probably a blessing. There's a lot of benefit that popped really quickly with that. For some of us, we had homes, we had families, we had lives, and we just continually kept blowing things up. And maybe you're in treatment today because somebody else decided you needed to come to treatment and signed some papers for you to be there. I don't know why you're here, but I do know that you are here. And one of the lines I've locked into in my recovery journey is, where we are is where we're at. So you might as well be there. I don't know if you came to treatment because you wanted to. I don't know if you came to treatment because you were made to. I don't know if you came to treatment because with a real trust or belief that this was going to be any different than any other time. I don't know if you came to treatment with this utter desperation of nothing left, just this complete internal brokenness of surrender. I don't know what that is, but I do know that you chose to be here this morning. And as a Southeast Recovery team, we just say thank you for choosing to do this, to be present. We know church stirs up a lot of emotions or opinions for us in recovery. I tell my pastor friends, that if you want to see what I hope is the unintended consequence of how we do church in America a lot, go to the same recovery meeting for a month, and you'll listen to people. They'll listen to us unpack our wrestle or our struggle with God, or our wrestle or our struggle with religion, or our wrestle or our struggle with church, and how that really was kind of found its way into the formation or the foundation of the brokenness that led to us trying to find some way to change the way we felt, some way to just try to make us feel okay in the skin that we were in. And so you choosing to be here today is a big deal for us. It's not something we take lightly. It's not something that we just expect. It's not something that we go through the motions with. You know, our sobriety, one of the Brandon Novak recovery talks, I've got my sobriety has a 24-hour shelf life. And that's real. Like, I've got today. Like, it doesn't matter how many days before, like, this is the day that I have. And so you choosing to participate with us today to come to a worship service is not something that we take lightly. And I want you to know that all of you is welcome here. All of you is welcome here. Like, there is no like formal prayer language, or you've got to get some stuff in order, or you got to fix yourself up, or you've got to get just right and pretty. And I'm not saying it's bad. Some of you love to get dressed up when you come to church, and I think that's fine. But there's something in us to think, I'm going to see God. I've got to put my best face or my best foot forward. And I just want to tell you, no matter what you're showing up with today, all of you is welcome here. So if you come today and there's just a lot of hurt and pain, and there's sadness and there's fear. And you know, if you're like me, I don't like feeling sad or scared because that makes me feel weak. So I usually present as anger. You know, when I'm scared and I'm sad, I feel weak. So I present anger because it lets I can feel more powerful, more in control, or more manly or whatever if I'm doing that. But if you're showing up today with anger or sadness or fear or pain, or you're showing up today with doubt, all of that is welcome here. You know, it's wild. Like, I don't know if it's some messages we pick up as we grow up, that like there's some emotions that are good and some emotions that are bad. And we for sure don't need to be showing them bad emotions to God. Like, I can't show up with those things. And us trying to not experience the emotions that God gave us to experience, or us trying to use the emotions that God wired us to use and thinking that God would be mad at us, would be the same equivalent to God being mad at us for us walking on the feet that he gave us to walk on. Like, the only reason he gave us feet was to use. And so the only reason we have those emotions is he gave them to us. So all of you is welcome here. There's nothing that you're going to feel. There's no question that you're going to ask. There's nothing that's going to come through your mind or struggle with that you cannot bring before God. It's all welcome here. And so we want that. And I think sometimes there's a thought that, like, well, I got a lot of doubt. I got a lot of doubt. And I don't know if I can believe this stuff. I don't know. And so we've kind of been taught or implied, at least in our experience, if you have a context of coming to church or being a part of anything like that in the past, that if you've got doubt, that means you don't have faith. And that like that faith and doubt are like almost like opposed each other. Now, I'll just say from in my journey, especially since I got sober, man, faith and doubt are not opposed. Faith and doubt, for me, in most time of my life, they snuggle up, bro. Like, they snuggle up. They big spoon, little spoon. You know what I mean? Like, they get right up on top of each other. Because to me, having faith is choosing to believe even though there's good reason to doubt. So sometimes in my life, big spoon is faith and it's holding it, and doubt's not too bad. But I'll be honest, man, there's sometimes when I just wrestle with that stuff, like, you know, trying to believe that there was this guy born 2,000 years ago that, you know, that lived this perfect life and fulfilled all these prophecies from the Old Testament, and trying to think through like that really is real, and that he really died and then like was dead for multiple days and then came back to life. Like, there's times for me that I'm like, gosh, man, did that really happen? Like, is that real? And so there's sometimes, if you talk about faith and doubt, they spoon it. And sometimes faith is a big spoon and it's on top. But other times, man, sometimes doubt is, and it's hard and it's a wrestle. And God has never abandoned me in my wrestle with that. God's never been like, how dare you? You know? So however you show up today, I want you to know that it's welcome here. And I love it. I say this a lot. And if you've been around some of our employees that are been coming to church with us for a while, have heard me say this. If you tell me you're not sure if you believe, then that means you're telling me that you might believe. And man, just that shred of belief, just that shred of willingness is more than enough for the God that saved this drunk to do something. You know, and that's really kind of the point of today. Is a story when I was in rehab. You know, I was in rehab down in Woodstock, Georgia, and in that treatment center, we had the treatment center that I went to, we had a step packet similar to some of you guys in the treatment centers that you're in. They do step packets. Some of you don't, but some of you do. They have step packets or like a packet to work through for each step, and I hadn't been there very long. It was still really, really fresh and raw. I don't know that I was really I don't even know what was going on because I was just so grieved I missed Thanksgiving. Christmas is just a couple weeks away. I think actually probably the week or so right after this moment was my son's birthday that they were celebrating with me, not there. And so I was just reeling from all the emotion, all the pain, the wreckage of my past was still so loud that it was so hard to hear anything else. And so honestly, I don't even think that I was going into this exercise with much effort. I was going to do what I was supposed to do because I was going to progress in the program, and I really did want to get sober more than anything in the world. But man, the loudness of my son's birthday, turning 6, and me not home was really loud. And I got the step 2 packet, and step 2 is we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. And I was sitting with house staff, because that's how they did it at the treatment center I was in, similar to some of the ones you guys are in now. And he sat down with a packet, and we had to fill out some questions and read some things that were put in the packet, and we had to fill out some stuff, and I did the work. But I was meeting with him because I was told to. I didn't want to. I wasn't looking. I was just sad, sad. And I sat down with him, and I said, I need to do my step 2 packet, man. Can we do it? He said, yeah, it's a good time. And so I gave it to him, and he said, well, man, you're a pastor. Step 2, that ought to be easy for you, right? And I said, man, no, it ain't. It ain't. I don't know if I've used up all my chances or if there's some kind of fundamentally broken thing in me. Because when I tell you I did everything I could think of to get sober, I did everything I could think of to get sober. I prayed every prayer. I did every spiritual discipline thing that any person in the church ever suggested to do. I rubbed oil on my head. I had other people rub oil on my head. I did everything that I could think of. I joke and I say the only thing I didn't do was start hopping around doing that taser dance with a rattlesnake. And I'm being straight, though. If somebody would have convinced me that that's what it took to be sober, I would have been willing to do that. And so I thought there's some kind of fun. And I was sitting in church services and being told, hey, man, if you had enough faith, God would take this away. And it just kept showing back up. So when I got to step 2 that day in my treatment center, and it said, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity, he said, this ought to be easy for you because you're a pastor. And I said, man, I don't know that it is. And I just said, man, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I'm not looking to start a debate, and I really want to progress in the program. So I'm not looking to get wild in this, but I just tell you, man, I'm not sure what I really believe anymore. And he said, okay, well, what's part of this are you struggling with? And really there's 2 parts to step 2, came to believe. And then another one is came to believe that a power greater than ourselves. And the second part is could restore us to sanity. And as the house staff, or the center staff started talking to me, it was like, do you believe that there's a God? I'm like, yes, I believe there's a God. I never, that wasn't something I wrestled with. And I don't mean to say that in a way that puts people that are wrestling with, is there a God? There's something wrong. Because we all have our wrestles. I still have a wrestle. I told you, sometimes I struggle with doubt. But for me, so if that is your wrestle, that I don't know if there is a God or not, there's nothing lower than that. There's nothing, but that's not bad is what I'm trying to say. I just never did. I watched my children, being formed, I'll say this, it feels weird. In my wife's womb, turning into human beings and becoming and being born. I could not, there's no way that happened by chance. Like to me, I was just like, there's no way this just happened by chance. I love being in nature. I found that to be one of the most primarily effective coping skills that I have is to get outside. And something about watching leaves move in the breeze reminds me that like there's a plan and it's working and it's not all on me. And so I never had trouble. I could get in nature to thinking, okay, all of this just kind of happened, So the first part of step 2 was not a challenge for me. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves. Yes, there is. The breakdown for me was really in the second part of that step. And my friend that was working at the center at the time, and I say he's a friend because he's still a friend of mine now, like it was, but that could restore me to sanity because I did not think that would work. So if you're here today and you got multiple treatment attempts, or here today and you got multiple sobriety dates like I do, I got a box with all the coins I picked up at AA meetings across 3 states, thinking this was going to be the time. What I'm wondering is that the second part of step 2 might be a place that you're really tripping up, that he could restore you to sanity. Because the first part of step 2 to me is all about believing. It says it in there, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves. The second part is all about trusting. Could restore us to sanity. And that was the breakdown for this drunk. I believed in God, but trusting was a whole different discussion. That I felt like I had to perform for me to expect good things from God, that if I checked all the boxes, then I could expect good things. And the problem was for me is I could never check all the boxes. I could never get it right. There was always more unchecked boxes than the ones that I did. And so I had the trust that God could restore me to a sane place of thinking. And some of you are in a place where you're like, man, there's some things that went on in your life, and your life, a lot of may have got derailed way when you were really little. And so even restore me to a place of sanity. Like, I don't even know if I've ever known what sanity was. I don't even know that I've ever walked in a way that was like normal and it wasn't like with some kind of pain and wound and baggage. I don't even know if I know what that means. So how is he going to restore me to something that like I've never had? But the second part of step 2 is about trust, and it's about that will he do it for me? Will he do it for me? That's the thing I was struggling with, because I did church services and I knew God. I had seen God move powerfully in other people's lives. But the breakdown for me was that I trust that he could do that for me. And up to that point, he hadn't. And I heard somebody say here recently a great picture of what the difference between believing and trusting is. He said, believing is like going to a circus and looking up and seeing a man on a tightrope, or like one of those high wire tightrope walking things, and seeing him up on one side of it and knowing, okay, so he's going to walk from one side to the other side. And believing is I'm in this thing and I'm watching this guy. He's going to walk from this side to this side. Like, you believe he's going to do it? I'm like, yes, I believe he's going to do that. And the guy said that trust is being willing to get in a wheelbarrow and letting him push you across that wire. And I'm like, oh, okay, wait a minute. That's a whole different thing. Like, because I'm watching this dude do his thing, and if something happens and he slips and falls, it's bad. But I'm not going down with him. You know what I mean? Like, so trust is being willing to get in the wheelbarrow and let him push you across that line, across that wire. And so, like, if the first part of step 2 is believing, the second part of step 2 is trusting. And I think what sometimes we do this a lot. Like, we get so overwhelmed with this. Okay, I know I've got to get close to God to stay sober, and we think I've got to microwave this thing, and I got to have all this stuff with God worked out, and I've got to get it all figured out so that I can stay sober. And we miss the fact that step 12 says, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, that it's a process, that it's not something you got to get all figured out on the front end. It's something that you figured out on the back end. I'm 5 years sober right now, and I'm still I'm still figuring this thing out. And we think we got to go straight from the seat in the audience to jumping right up and getting in the wheelbarrow, man. And what we miss is there's a lot of things that go on between now and when I get in the wheelbarrow. And sometimes it's just a small step. So if you're wrestling with trusting in God like I'm trusting with God, like don't look at it like I've got to take this whole big jump all at one time, man. Just start with something little. Start with something small, something that doesn't feel quite as risky to you. Because I think the reason that we struggle with not trusting God is because we become so used to being let down. We become so used to things not being what we were told they were going to be, or we've gotten so accustomed to things not ever working out that I don't have another disappointment in me. So I can't put my trust, I can't put myself in that wheelbarrow because I might get disappointed again. So maybe the first step for you with trust is I want to do something small, man. God, it's just a prayer. God, I want to try to trust you. Like just maybe that's the first step. And there's a lot of steps between sitting here and getting in the wheelbarrow to be pushed across the thing. It's a little thing of God, I want to be able to trust you. It may start there. And then just wait for the next thing that's going to hit. Because something's going to hit again. And there's going to be a thing for you to be like, okay, God, I need please help with this. And what I want us to be cautious of, though, in this journey of trust is that we don't turn this into well, if God will do this and this and this, then I'm all in. Because a lot of us have caught resentments towards God because we treat God like every person in our hometown treated us. We catch resentment towards God because they don't do, people, you know what it is like in your hometown. People know, they read your last name in the newspaper and they think they know all about you just because of what that name is. Or because your dad did something, or because your cousin did something, or because somebody in your family did something, they see that thing and they automatically write you off with never one time taking the time to individually, personally, on their own, get to know you. And we do that a lot with God. We catch resentment toward God because somebody on behalf of God said or did something we don't like without us ever taking the opportunity for our individual selves to be like, no, me and God, I'm going to figure this. I'm going to do this on my own. And some of us, we catch, it's like that we treated God like what it says in the 12 and 12. So we treated God like a Bush League pinch hitter. Like I'm doing my life, I'm doing what I want, I'm taking care of myself, I'm getting what I want, I'm doing this, I'm running the game, I'm the man, and all the things you see people posting in the social media posts with, I'm this and that and all those things. And it's like when all that stuff starts to unravel, we're like, oh, God, fix this. Oh, God, help with this. Oh, God, change this. And then when we get the natural consequences for our behaviors, we blame God because he didn't jump in at the last minute like the genie from Aladdin and rescue us. So growing in a relationship or growing into trust or just starting to trust God is not thinking I want God to make all these problems go away and then I'm going to trust him, because this is real talk from one addict to another. If God would have saved me from all the consequences of my behaviors, I would not be sober today. I needed to cry when my son was having his birthday when I was home. I needed to sit and stare at a campfire on Christmas Eve knowing my family was open in pajamas and having a good time drinking hot cocoa with candy canes in it, because we do it every Christmas Eve, and I needed that because Matt running his life landed me in a place where I was not capable of being present with them. So growing to trust God is not asking him to swoop in and magically fix all the stuff that we have done to ourselves. Some of you are walking in really broken relationships. It's because of choices that you have made. So I'm not asking God to just make my mama think it's okay and send me some more money on my account. But I am asking God, can you start to work in my relationship with my mom? I'm not showing up here saying, man, God, I need you to make all this legal stuff go away. I'll trust you if you can make sure to make this felony get downgraded or they offer me diversion. I'll trust you if it's that. Growing to trust God is saying, And I'm scared to death I'm gonna go back to prison. God, you promise you won't leave me if I go to prison. That's growing in trust. There's a lot of steps between sitting in the crowd and getting in the wheelbarrow. And our hope today is that even by you choosing to participate in this gathering with us, that there's a little bit of trust. That, man, that little sliver, just that crack, just that little bit, man, my God will do something. Ephesians 3:20 said, now him who is able to do immeasurably more than you could ask or imagine is at work within you. And the work is not going to be saving you from the consequences of your actions. Because that's really not what I needed. I didn't need God to save me from missing Christmas. I needed God to save me from never feeling good enough. I needed God to move immeasurably more than I could ask or imagine, and me being okay with myself. There's a lot of steps between here and jumping in the wheelbarrow to be pushed across that tightrope. But willing to take a little one today. And to know, man, believing is great. Man, you want to think things change. I'll keep it on me. Believing was there. Things changed when I started trusting. The more trust I have in God, the more peace I have in my life. Man, let's stay sober. I'm going to pray. God, you know what's happened in every individual person's life that's listening to this. You know the ins and the outs. You know the things that they've done that have caused consequence. You know the things that have been done to them that have caused pain. And sometimes we take a step back and just to think, God, where are you in all of that? And we're here today because we want to be sober. We want to be sober more than anything in the world. And we know to stay sober, we got to be close to you. God, would you please grow our trust? Or maybe this, God, would you please just help us to want to trust? Will you help us to want trust more than we're scared of being disappointed? And thank you that you're able to do immeasurably more than we could ask or imagine. It's through Jesus we pray. Amen.
was born to lift your name above all names. You hear the melody of all creation. But there's a song of praise that only I can bring. Who else is worthy? Who else is worthy? There is no one, only you, Jesus. Who else is worthy? Who else is worthy? There is no one, only you, Jesus. You are the infinite God of the ages. Yeah, you chose to make my heart your dwelling place. You heal my brokenness, show me your glory. So I have songs of thanks not even angels sing.